I'm Ted Berg for SNY.TV, and this episode of Know Your Enemy, presented by Pepsi Max, heads to the West Coast with the Mets as they begin a 4-game set in LA. Calling into the studio is Eric Stephen from the Dodgers blog TrueBlueLA.com. Eric, how are you?
Great, Ted. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Let's talk about the Dodgers here. The big news for them, Andre Ethier falling out of last night's game with an injury, and their offense hadn't been great with him, getting shut out by the Giants. Where's the offense going to come from in his absence?
Well, yeah, it's looking like Ethier's going to go on the DL here, so they're going to be out 2 all-star outfielders. Matt Kemp's going to be out till the all-star break now, possibly without Andre Ethier. We'll find out more today. But, yeah, the offense, it was a sort of a problem with Ethier. The last, say, pretty much without Kemp in June. They're averaging just over 3 runs a game and just been terrible. But they scored 13 runs on a 9-game road trip. They didn't score at all in San Francisco. Pretty much everyone's slumping. Juan Uribe at third, James Loney at first. Juan Rivera, who's sort of taken over for James Loney at first, is hitting okay, but nothing like you want from a starting first baseman. Their leadoff man has an on-base percentage well under 300 in D. Gordon. So your guess is as good as mine as to where the offense is going to come from. It's pretty much a problem right now.
The good news for the Dodgers, though, is that they've lost 8 of 9, and they're still tied for first place. Can they hold the fort until Kemp and Ethier comes back?
Well, that's sort of the hope. They have a bit of a tough schedule here. We're facing the Mets for 4 games. We get the Reds right after New York comes to town. Then they end the first half going to Arizona for 4 games. So it's a bit of a tough stretch here. Hopefully they just stay close, and hey, if they're still in first at the break, or maybe within a game or 2, I'll sort of take that at this point.
Eric, let's talk about the pitchers in this series. Chris Capuano, a guy Mets fans are obviously familiar with, he's been great for the Dodgers.
Oh man, he's been just outstanding since coming over, striking out over 8 batters per 9 innings. Just been awesome. I can't say we expected this from him. I mean, expected a good pitcher, but he's been just above and beyond. I think, finally a few years removed from his Tommy John surgery, he's getting stronger, and he's just been a godsend.
Aaron Harang, tomorrow's starter, we've seen before. Everybody in the National League has. He's been a little bit more wild than maybe he has in the past.
Yeah, a little bit. On the road trip, he had a quality start the other day in Anaheim, but the one before that, he walked 8 guys and didn't even last 4 innings. He somehow managed to only give up 3 runs in that game, so it's kind of amazing. But, yeah, he's been a little more wild than usual, but I don't know. He's fairly typical Aaron Harang at this point, so nothing out of the ordinary. And
tell us about Saturday starter Nathan Ivaldi, a guy we haven't seen at all.
Yeah, he's filling in for Ted Lilly. He's actually been doing a pretty good job. He did not do well on Monday in San Francisco, but that was really his only kind of stinker of the year so far. He's had the problem with Ivaldi is that he's had limited run support. He started 6 times. The Dodgers have scored a total of 5 runs in those games, so he's sort of feeling the brunt of it, the Dodgers' offensive woes. They've scored 3 runs with him in the game, so he's 0-4 despite a fairly respectable ERA.
And then Sunday's starter is Clayton Kershaw, a guy there's really not that much to say about. He's awesome.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's funny with Kershaw because, his ERA's under 3, his peripherals are all kind of there. Maybe his strikeouts are a little down, but, people are sort of wondering, hey, what's wrong with Clayton Kershaw when, in fact, I think he set the bar a little high for himself last year. So the only thing is maybe he's fighting his own shadow or something like that.
Eric, thanks so much.
Oh, no problem, Ted. Thanks for having me.
Remember, for all the latest Mets coverage, be sure to check in at MetsBlog.com, TedQuarters.net, and SNY.TV.